Dear students, we shall discuss the agrarian movements in India. There are vast differences in the agrarian society. While there are rich landowners on the one hand and there are landless farmers on the other hand, there are gross inequalities found in the agrarian society. There is agitation and unrest among the majority of rural people. There is conflict that often leads to fight and even murders because of the land problem. Moreover, awareness has increased among the oppressed classes who have now found a voice for their grievances after centuries of suppression. So, let us discuss the meaning. Any kind of tension which gives rise to agitation. Tension and agitations are closely connected, so much so that many scholars have defined agrarian tension as agrarian movement. Agrarian movements reflect agrarian problems which are mainly related to powerful land owners. The definition: any movement can be agrarian movement provided it is for the right of the peasants, whether it is organized by peasants or other groups. Professor R. Singh says, agrarian movements are born when peasants try to bend the landowners and the related governments by violence or show of violence. Thus, the agrarian movements is related to agricultural labor which arises out of their exploitation and economic dependence. Farmers and other related groups also join these movements. Let us discuss the causes of agrarian movements. Unequal distribution of rural resources. Generally, there are two powerful categories of people in the Indian villages: the money lenders and the landowners. Although they form only 10 to 15% of the total rural population, economically they are very strong and socially and politically stable. The unequal distribution of sources is directly related to inequalities in income and physical conditions. Those who do not own land or those who work others' land are economically deprived. These conditions give rise to unrest, unemployment, and quasi unemployment. Most of the landless laborers are either employed or only partially employed. The population in rural area has increased at a much greater speed than the space at which industry has grown. Moreover, the nature of agriculture is such that there is no work throughout the years. Thus, unemployment causes unrest and leads to agrarian movement. Awareness among the peasant. One of the important causes of agrarian movement is a growing awareness among the peasant about their rights and the injustice in keeping them suppressed for so long. Majority of these people belong to scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and backward castes. Disharmonic social system. Andre Bittel has said that the disharmonic social system in Indian villages are the main causes of agrarian unrest. The inequalities are found in all societies, but injustice is not justified. In the Indian rural social system, the powerful landowners have been exploiting the poor landless labor over the centuries. Now, the constitution does not allow that, and the rural people refuse to take atrocities and tend to revolt against the system. Political factors. Many political factors, such as frequent elections, spread of education, and revolutionary politics, have changed the attitude of people. Now they are not ready to accept their poverty as karma. They want their rights. They believe that they are the real owners of the land they cultivate, and such beliefs lead them to the land great movement. Structure of peasant society. Andre Bittel has led the structure of peasant society responsible for the agrarian unrest. It has the following features, such as the presence of opposite pole of social economic inequalities, the belief after independence that these inequalities can be reduced if not done away with completely, the failure of all administrative efforts to change the existing pattern of inequality, especially at the lowest level of stratification. Green Revolution. Unfortunately, The Green Revolution that made India self-sufficient in food also divided the gap between the rich and the poor. The benefits of the Green Revolution caused by improved methods of agriculture went to the rich who could afford to use them, and the poor became poorer. This led to agrarian unrest, lack of occupations in the villages, lack of organization of workers and peasants, low standard of income and living in villages, uncomfortable working conditions of the workers, indebtedness are the causes of agrarian unrest. Agrarian movements such as Indigo Revolt in Bengal, the indigo planters, the European exploited the local peasants by forcing them to grow indigo on their land, and Patna Agrarian League, the Bengal Semindars resorted to enhance the rent beyond legal limits and prevented the tenants from acquiring occupancy right under Act of 1959. The Kisan Sabha movement, Bardoli Satyagraha, Telangana movement was a revolutionary movement to achieve the political goals started in Nalgonda in Hyderabad in 1946. Later it spread to Warangal and Bidar. It was in support of the entire agrarian community which was repressed by the Nababs, the demand of the waiving of the debts. Thank you.